Hello, I'm Donna, and welcome to the Gwinnett County Public Library YouTube channel.
Hello, I'm Alicia, and today we are interviewing Hilda Estrella de Lev, the director of Alma Mexicana, Atlanta.
Hello, thank you for having me here. And I am Mexican. I was born in the northern state of Nuevo León. It's a big industrial city called Monterrey. That's where I was born and grew up there. I did my studies there, and then I moved to the United States for work, and I stayed. Well, when I moved here, I am also, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I also study engineering, so I'm an engineer. And I actually moved to the United States as an engineer. I was working in a company. Um, and after a few months that I came here, because I came by myself, after a few months I was started getting homesick, like many other people who moved to another place. So I started getting homesick, and what I felt I wanted to do to calm down that was to start dancing for people. And at the time I was looking around for a dance group because I knew there's a lot of dance groups in Texas and California and Chicago. So I was expecting, because there's a lot of Mexican community here, I was expecting to also have several dance groups. But for some reason I couldn't find one. So I called the Latin American Association here in Atlanta, and I asked if they were in knowledge of any dance group. And they, at the time, they couldn't tell me anyone. And then I asked, are you teaching dance? Is there in a program where someone can go in, or? And they say, well, we don't, but we are about to open dance group. I told them a little bit about my background, and they told me, why don't you come and teach here, and we open a program here for dancing. And I said, well, that sounds great. All I wanted to do is dance. So teaching was pretty good, because I will be dancing and I will be sharing and I will be teaching others. So I started teaching at the Latin American Association. And I was there for 1 year, and then the program was closed, the dancing program, because it wasn't the only dancing. So there were several dancers, there were several classes, and that program closed. And my students, I have very little students, I have 4 students at a time, and they wanted to keep going, they wanted to keep dancing. So I said, you know what, let's go to my house and practice and learn and do it. And so the Latin American knew my name, and sometimes other schools or other places will call and tell them, do you know anyone who dances? We want to have some for, the Hispanic Heritage Month and all that. Do you know someone? And they knew me, so they sent me all of those things. And I said, well, that's how it started. And then they always started, how should I introduce you? How should I introduce you? And we're like, well, I don't know. And then we were talking and thinking, and that's how Alma Mexicana. We're going to present today 2 dances from 2 different places. One is from the state of Jalisco, and another is from the peninsula of Yucatan. The state of Jalisco, as many of you know, is the homeland of mariachi music, and tequila and mezcal and many other iconic things that we identify Mexico with around the world. And in my experience, if you go dance somewhere and you don't dance Jalisco, everybody gets a little bit disappointed. It had happened to me several times. And it's like, okay, Jalisco, I know now that it has to be always played, music. When you hear the mariachi, you know, oh, it's Mexico, But if you hear marimba, you don't really get that that thing immediately. So I always like to bring Jalisco to because it touches a nerve. And for the Peninsula of Yucatan, I love the Peninsula of Yucatan because the traditions there are alive. They are life traditions. So all the jaranas that I'm going to present, the jaranas that we're going to dance, are still very much loved. The Yucatecos in Mexico are super proud of their jaranas. The musicians, the dancers, the people, and they still do it even now in the pandemic. Obviously less amount of people, but still do it. They still go. The musicians still with their masks go and play on Sundays. And dancers, less amount and less people, obviously. They still go outside in the plaza and they put their huipiles and or they pull the ternos and go and dance it. They love it. They're so proud of it. And and I like to present that and to say that look, you go to Merida, you go to Cancun, you go there, you look for the plazas, and you see still people, the older ladies, they still dress in the huipiles and they still going around speaking Maya language, and so we like to say and to present that. It's part of the identity, I think. The part of the identity of being from a different culture, from being from a different land, just like any other people from their own countries. The folkloric is part of the history, and the folkloric dance is history, moving history, you know, um, and it gives you some identity and connects you with with where you come from. History is super important for everybody, for all of us, in all different kind of aspects. World history, and learn from the past, and to be able to go and look forward to the future. And like our own family, you see your parents and you try not to make mistakes and learn from that. But it's also for humanity. You want to try to see the past around the nations and learn. So when you see the past of your own nation, it identifies you, and somehow it connects you inside with certain music, and it touches you. And for us who are immigrants, who were born there and grew up a little bit there and then came here, it is part of also that um, homesick that reminds you to your childhood, it reminds you to your family and the gatherings, and when you get together in the weekends or in the party of your friend or your cousin or whatever. Um, it connects you to your land that you left behind. And also for the new generations that are growing up here, um, it connects them more. I think it connects them more with their parents. At least it happens with me and with my students, because I have obviously a lot of students who were not born in Mexico but were born here, and somehow they sometimes they don't say it, but I feel it, how they feel more connected to their parents, how dancing and arts, movement and all of that, they start getting a new view, a new respect, different type of respect for their parents, for their family, and for the people who is there in the other country that they still live in there. Because I have had students that are with me. They learn to dance, and somehow they come back to Mexico for visit as family or visit just the land, and they have a different experience. They tell me that they have a different experience now that they dance, now that they are more familiar with the music, and if they get to go to a party or at the Sunday when the orchestra come to the plaza, they are able to hear and understand more music and even dance and be part of all of that, and it gives them more respect for others and start to understand other cultures, and it's very satisfying that I'm doing a little part into those transformations.
Thank you, Hilda, for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for the opportunity to share with our community the dances and culture of Mexico.
Thank you for the invitation. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope everybody who's watching also enjoys.